Harper 2013, 2014, okay? 2014, 2015, you'll be there for 2 years, right? So you're gonna fill out the FAFSA in 2015, January of 2015, because you'll be getting ready to transfer on to another university. That's when you'll begin. Okay? Yeah.
Can you receive multiple scholarships?
Oh, absolutely. I have known students, some of our very best students have actually made money going to college. They haven't paid a dime. Because these private scholarships, guys, this is really not the theme of my talk, but we just give you guys a check. Okay? So if you got a full academic scholarship or a full athletic scholarship, but you also were awarded the District 211 scholarship, which is like $2,000, and you have zero college expenses, that $2,000 is yours. You know, to buy books, to take care of your personal expenses while you're away at school, whatever the case you need to do. Okay? As I mentioned, just got this yesterday. So Mr. McGann's class yesterday did not have a chance to see this, but you guys are. Just to give you an idea of how affordable college really can be, because I think so many students and so many families, they go to a website or they get some piece of paper and says, oh my God, it costs this. There's no way I can go there. Okay? This is from Brown University. Does anybody know where Brown University is? Ohio? Nobody? It's in Rhode Island. It's in Providence, Rhode Island. Does anybody know anything about Brown University?
Isn't it like Ivy League?
Very good. It's in the Ivy League. So you have Harvard, Princeton, Yale, and then Brown is considered like the 4th best Ivy League school. It is an elite university. Okay? It cost this year to attend Brown for 1 year, $58,140. A lot of money. Okay? But I want to talk about an example of institutional aid. Okay? Institutional aid. The average financial aid package, and this was without any loans, was $40,209. So that means to go to Brown, on average, it costs a family $18,000 a year. Anybody know how much it costs to go to U of I this year? About $33,000. So you're going to pay $15,000 more to go to the U of I, which is a great school. Don't get me wrong. It's not even close to Brown. So what I'm trying to stress you guys is don't say I'm not going to apply to this school because it says it costs $58,000 a year to go there. You never know what it's going to cost. You never know where these people are going to come up with money. If they want you, if you're academically qualified to go there, more often than not, they're going to make it a reality for you. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Anybody have any questions on where financial aid comes from, these 4 sources? No?
Where's the college?
Excuse me?
Where's the college?
I can't hear you.
Where is the college or something?
It comes from the university itself. So like that's all that money that I'm talking about, that $40,000, that comes from Brown. They just have that money. I can give you a little background, it's a little side note. Hopefully nobody knows or has ever heard of Grey Goose Vodka. Shouldn't. The founder of Grey Goose Vodka is a very successful company. He went to Brown. Okay? He was unable to return to Brown for his sophomore year because he couldn't afford the tuition. So he goes on to become an entrepreneur and does very well for himself, has this company. And he donated, years ago, $200 million to Brown and said that I don't ever want this to happen again. I want students to be able, if they're academically qualified to attend this university, I don't want cost to be a factor. You know, you take $200 million and you invest that, it grows and grows and grows. So that's where, and that's just one guy. Brown's got a lot of people like that giving them money. So that's where that money comes from. Okay? Unfortunately, places like Northern, Southern, and Eastern, they don't have those kinds of alumni. Okay? And they're state funded, so they cannot be as generous with their institutional aid as some of these private universities. Okay? Does that answer your question? All right. Anybody else have questions? Okay. Talking about how much we should borrow. Okay? This is a concept known as debt burden. Okay? And they always look at whenever you're getting ready to take out a loan, whoever is giving you the money, they always want to know, hey, how much income do you have, and what percent of this loan is going to eat up your income? They always want to make sure that things are in line. They don't want to let you over borrow. That's why people who make $50,000 a year can't go buy $1 million home. It doesn't add up. How are you going to pay for this house with this income? Okay? But you have to do this on your own. You have to look into your little crystal ball, and you have to figure out, I'm going to college to become this. Why do we go to college? To get a job. Okay? If you didn't have to go to college to get a good job or the job you wanted, you wouldn't go. But you're going to college to make yourself more marketable and to get a job, a certain job. You can do any kind of research online and you can figure out what that job is going to pay you. Okay? And if you're pursuing a degree that's going to give you an annual income of $30,000 a year, should you borrow $100,000 to go to college? Yes or no? Probably not. Okay, probably not. There are a lot of doctors out there. We all think that doctors make all this money, and they do. They have great salaries, but they're in college for a long time. A long, long time. There are doctors out there with $300,000 in debt, just from student loans. Who has Mrs. Marienthal, the counselor? Okay. I talked to her before I made this presentation. She gave me permission. She borrowed $70,000 to go to grad school. She's paying that back right now. Okay. The rule of thumb is you should not, your monthly loan to pay back your student loans should not be more than 8% of your income. Okay? It should not be more than 8% of your monthly income. So let's give you an example here. If your gross income is $42,000 a year, gross income before taxes, okay? Your monthly net income is this. And I just took 42,000 divided by 12, 3,500, and I figured there would be 25% in taxes and other deductions taken out of your paycheck. So that's where I came up with this number. So you're going to make $2,625 a month, which means that you should borrow to go to college only $25,000. So that's about $6,000 a year that you should take out in loans, because you get 10 years to pay back your student loan. Okay, that's 120 months. So 25,000 divided by 120 is $208 a month that you'd have to pay back, and that's without interest. When you factor in interest, it's probably going to be closer to this number, and that is 9% of this. Everybody with me on that? Okay. So in other words, if this is what your income was, then I don't know, unless you want to live with mom and dad until you're 50, you don't want to have an $800 a month student loan. It just doesn't add up. You're going to be riding your bike to work, okay? You're going to be living with mom and dad. Does anybody have any questions on that?
What happens after you don't pay it back? Like after 2 years?
What happens if you don't pay it back?
Yeah, like more time.
There are ways that you can, it's called defer your loan. Okay, if you ever go back to school to pursue another degree, you stop paying, you can choose to stop paying on your loan. Okay, I do believe you get a little bit of a grace period if you become unemployed a few months, not many, but I mean you have to pay it back. It's not an option. Okay, what are they going to do if you don't pay it back? I don't know. Are they going to come after you and try and put you in jail? I'm not positive. I do know this. You guys talked about bankruptcy yet? Mm-hmm. You'll probably talk about that later. When you talk about bankruptcy, this is one of the things that you can't say, hey, I filed for bankruptcy, I'm not paying that back. Nope, you're still paying that back. Okay? So don't think you can use that as an excuse. Okay? That's it for me, but I will stay here as long as you want and answer anybody's questions. Anybody has it? How about that weather? Not bad for November 30th, right? Taylor, any questions?